Hey, hey.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody? So, if you are tuning in here, obviously you're listening to me talk. We were a little bit late today. Namaste, motherfuckers.
Namaste Muthafuckas.
Because we had a lot of difficulties. We had rain difficulties. We had makeup difficulties.
Hairspray. Yeah,
All
lots
kinds
of things.
difficulties.
Technical difficulties. We had lots of difficulties. But we're here and we're live.
We are doing this. I'm going to do a couple of sound checks on my other device while she does her thing.
Yeah. So, welcome. This is
Where's my
Melissa
shit?
and Melissa.
Hey, we're Melissa and Melissa.
We're with the Honeybee Awakening. Or Awakened, sorry. And we are here
She came up with
for
the end of that name.
And I can't even remember it.
I was like, how about something honeybee? And she was like, how about Honeybee Awakened? And I was like, oh my God, I love it.
I keep
love
forgetting
it.
though what it is.
But it was perfect. It was perfect. I was like, yeah.
And so that's really what our show is about. Talking about kind of the newbie awakened peeps, right? Telling you about things to be aware of, things how we can help, astrology.
My phone's in the goddamn car.
All of that good stuff. She be out. And really, so we're going to get to the nitty gritty of it. And first we have our free flow. And that's just kind of where we talk about our weeks and what kind of weird stuff's happening in life in general, especially those of us who are awakened, those kind of interesting moments that we have. And yeah, so are you back? She's back.
I'm back. So
Yeah, I was just telling them about kind of how we promised we wouldn't laugh as much.
boobs. I have boobs.
But it's happening. We can't help it. We're kind of goofballs. So you'll learn to love us, I promise.
So what'd you tell them?
I told them that this is kind of a channel for, learning about kind of all the awakened stuff. Astrology.
Yeah.
Today we're going to go into religion.
Yay! Can
Really?
you be religious and still have an awakening?
Yes, exactly.
At least our opinions on the matter.
Yeah, of course. Everything in this channel is just our opinion, right? You come to your own conclusion whenever you need to, but really it's just ours. So yeah, astrology, aliens, cosmos, stuff, the universe,
Yay.
angels. So we're on free flow right now. So I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, please do. I'm still getting my sound here.
So so this is kind of where we talk about our week and kind of the weird crap that happens during the week that is interesting. So my week in general, not a lot of activity, but that could also be because I spent most of the week with my dude, and I tend to, I think, put up a little bit of a spiritual guard, if you will, that's like no-go. I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing on my part or what it is, but I just don't get as much activity. I still get activity, but not as much. So last night I came home super tired from the weekend, busy. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 4th of July.
That's why we were not here yesterday. We were recovering from the weekend.
Well, I had a show to go to.
I know, you did.
And I felt bad, but I was like, I'm going.
Yeah. All good.
COVID's done. Oops, I said a trigger word. Oopsies.
I gotta come up with a code name for it.
CV.
Suck a dick.
Suck a dick.
That's the code word for it.
I don't know what's happening on that one.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so anyway, so I get back home.
We jumped right into the religion thing.
Well, that was just a preview, right? Because we weren't really going into it. So I come back home and I'm going to go to sleep, and I don't even close my eyes. Normally I close my eyes and then, all the stuff starts happening. That didn't happen. This time my eyes were wide awake. I'm laying down. I'm tired, but, I'm kind of going through in my head my little protection thing I do every night. And it's not a fear protection thing. It's just a general protection thing that I do. And immediately I start feeling these stuff on my legs, which is usually kind of like a healing thing, I think. I don't really know, but that's what I'm going to guess it is. And I'm like, dude, guys, off my legs. I'm trying to...
Well, it's usually, It's usually
after
your aliens. It's usually
it is
your guides.
usually my
It's usually
aliens.
like your alien guides, like your...
Sure. So I have alien guides, in case you didn't know. So
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! That's why it's also aliens. But I have these alien guides, and usually it's them. They're coming in. They'll do acupuncture. They'll do all kinds of weird stuff. And I just assumed it was them. So I was like, hold up. Like, I need a moment. I haven't relaxed yet. I haven't gotten into my space where I'm allowing you to do that. And I get this kind of pull, which used to be aliens, but now it's my higher self, which I've heard that my higher self is actually an alien. Or has an alien aspect to it.
I
It's a
can
whole
see that.
giant thing to all that. But anyway, so I get the pull, and I'm like, dude, I don't even have my eyes closed yet, guys. And I hear from my higher self, it's okay, it's angels. And I'm like, okay. And then I hear straight up flapping like a bird in my room. And I look up and I'm looking around, I'm like, is my kid in my room? Kid, dogs? Everybody's up and away. Nobody's in there. Guys, I think it might have been angels flapping their wings up in my room.
Girl, I
which
had some
was
angels flapping their wings.
Crazy. That is literally, I would say aliens was probably literally the craziest thing, but I find that crazier.
I do find it crazier too.
I think that's a good segue into where we're going, but like, I think it's crazier because, I don't know, like aliens, you're like, yeah, I mean, there's multiple universes, there's gotta be aliens, right? But angels is such a Christian thing that, we've kind of been programmed to know. So it's almost like if you're awakened, there's that like, well, I don't know, do they exist? Or are they just aliens? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And
what if you're having an awakening and you're not a Christian?
Right. And then how do you process that?
Yeah.
I was a Christian. I am a Christian. But yeah.
Original Christians.
More on that later.
More on that later. That's going to be like, we should do a whole separate video.
Oh, that's going to be a whole...
Yeah, let's do a whole
the
separate
real
video.
Christians. But anyway, I just thought it was pretty freaking crazy. And normally I would have like a little bit freaked out about it. But I just laid there like, I guess I'll close my eyes now. I'm protected. I didn't even have to do my protection thing. I was like, okay.
Okay, hi girl, hi, or
hi.
whatever you are.
Yeah, so that was really the only.
And was that was today?
last night.
Or last night?
Yeah, so.
Oh, dude. Last 3 nights have been intense with just vivid dreams.
Yeah.
I'm so stupid. I'm like, hey, that's your name.
I wrote a book and it's my name on it. She actually illustrated this.
Well, we're gonna get to that. I'm like, hey, she's got the same name as you.
Who knew?
It's been a long day. Y'all should have seen. You know what? Next time, let's just set up.
We should do a little live over
just
here.
set up a live camera and
so
show.
can see.
And they can see.
The
they
stressors.
can see my mental breakdown as I'm setting all this shit up. And then I'm like, this isn't working.
I literally had the wine. I'm like, just drink.
Poured it in my mouth.
Okay.
And I wasn't even gonna drink. I was like, no, I'm not gonna drink. I want to be serious and like, be able to like do this. Maybe when I'm not on camera and doing all this shit, like no. Anyway, one of these days.
Cosmo says you should have wine. It's okay. Anyway, so tell me kind of, was there like a collectiveness to the dreams, or were they all individual?
They were all personal, very, very, very personal dreams, which, happens sometimes to me, but a lot of times I will have a more collective type of dream where it's the world's ending or there's some kind of catastrophe or something's going on and it has to do with the entire world because it ends up happening. These were very, very personal. So
Interesting.
Yeah. And I have side note.
Uh-oh. Never good.
Remember?
Is it about me?
No.
Okay.
No, remember the, I feel like I'm further up than you are. Remember the lady that I told you about how, like, I went in the chat? I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just not going to do that right now.
Yes.
And she was like, you shouldn't ask that. No. And I was like, okay. Because some of my dreams are not personal. They're like, it's the collective.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, and I'm like, I'm not talking about those dreams. I'm talking about the collective dreams. But so my personal dreams, big time. So last night, I will leave out names. Last night's dream was like so long, so drawn out, so past life karma stuff that came back around like in the most beautiful, positive way. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. And then the night before that, I dreamt about my grandmother. Like, it felt like, obviously, we don't know how long our dreams last. They may last a second, and they seem like they last hours. I dreamt about my grandmother. And the next day, I actually was walking Abby, and I ran into a lady who I hadn't seen in months, and I was sure that something happened to her. She was always outside working in her garden, and she hadn't been, and I was like, oh, she died. I just know she died. And I was like, no, she didn't, but I think she's not doing well. I'm going to see her again. Like, I knew I would.
In the dream or for reals?
For reals. And then so, in the dream, I dreamt of my grandmother. My grandmother's name is Evelyn. Well, this lady's name is Evelyn.
Oh.
And so I saw her outside the next, like, I had the dream that night. The next day I saw her outside, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you okay? And she was like, no, I almost died. I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm sorry. And then, you know, we talked, like, she talked my ear off, and she was like, I'm sorry, I bet you wish you hadn't seen me now.
Aww.
I was like, oh, she's so sweet. But I love her. But I was so relieved that she was okay. And then the night before, I dreamt of my mother. Like, and both my mom and my grandmother have passed. So that's the significance there. But my mom, I mean, she was her young, they were both young in the dream. And that's how I know that was really their essence.
Yep.
Because they weren't like their old selves. My grandmother was like in her 30s or 40s. My mom was like in her 20s or 30s. And it's like, that's where we are at our peaks.
Yep.
And boobs.
It's so true, though. I mean,
I'm
it's
pre-period boobs.
We're kind of at our peaks, so
we are like, this is like we have been like a fine wine. We have been in the cellar. We have done our aging. We are ready to be drank.
Yes.
We are the grapes that have been smashed.
Soak us up.
We smashed. Soak us up. Okay.
Sorry.
If you're still watching.
No, but seriously, I mean, that makes total sense. The whole, like, if I'm going to come visit my Evelyn, who's 13, right?
That's right, you have an Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friend has an Evelyn.
Yeah.
I've been surrounded by Evelyns lately.
So, like, when I'm gone, I'm totally going to haunt her ass in my look like this.
She would believe that too.
Yeah, right?
Like, she'd be like, oh, my mom's here.
Yeah. I'd be like, boobs.
Oh, my mom's here. I saw a blonde lady, really pretty, walking by with big boobs. That was my mom.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, crazy.
So super personal dreams.
Super personal dreams, and I think that we've all been like going within a lot lately, and like, I know that there's some things that are happening astrologically, and it's causing us to go inward and look at certain aspects of our lives depending on what's in our certain signs and all that. So I need to find out.
Yeah, I haven't experienced any of that. I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I'm just, just kidding, but I haven't.
You have worked on a lot of karma stuff already, though.
Then that's what I'm wondering is, like, did I already, because, they say it's in 2012.
Yes.
Was like the big kind of, very similar to how it is now. Yeah.
And the 2012 thing that happened was the thing that happened in my dream last night. Dude.
Interesting.
If you know, you know.
So yeah, like I feel like I went through a crap ton of karma between 2012 and 2000 and end of 15 and beginning of 16, and I don't know. I think I'm such in a good place right now.
Yeah, you cleaned out a lot of shit.
I did, and so like I was watching some astrology thing today, and it was talking about, you know, if you have past stuff coming back in, kind of like Mercury retrograde, where if you have, you know, exes and stuff like that you haven't actually dealt with the karma, it's going to come back now. And I'm like,
Nah.
I'm good.
Nah. Negatory, Ghost Rider.
Negatory. Well, my dreams, I didn't have anything cool.
But you had aliens or angels.
Well, that was pretty cool. I will say this was kind of weird, and maybe it's just because he talked about it so much, but my dude was talking about, he kept having dreams every night about bears. And he's a little bit freaked out.
We haven't even talked about this yet.
I know.
You just told me that you were going to tell me about the bears, and I was like, can't wait to hear about that.
So he's been like really kind of freaked out about bears. We're going to go on this trip to Arizona, and I'm like, there's no bears in here. Like the Grand Canyon, there's no bears.
And in the mountains, right? No.
There's no trees. Like, I don't know, maybe one sneaked off.
But who got it? You have to watch it. I know you haven't watched it.
I did watch it.
You watched the whole thing?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
You have to watch the whole thing.
Hard to watch.
Did you watch at least to the middle?
Yes. I watched to the middle.
But who got it?
We will link that below so that you can watch it if you haven't, because it is actually quite funny. But if you can handle, his accent is so thick.
Well, so apparently it was done before. Like, this is not the first time the video has been posted. It's just he redubbed it or like redid it in his own special way, and he's like, I am sorry people, I don't have good English accent, so I am sorry for that, but who got it? It's like after I got past the initial like I can't handle this, then I was just like, oh my god, that's the funniest thing. Anyway,
so bears. So he's been having dreams.
Also bears.
He's been having dreams about bears. And so I think it was Sunday night, and I had like this super intense dream where he was like shooting a bear, and I was like,
oh no.
But here's what's weird about it. Yes, the bear was coming to attack us, but I didn't know who I was like more concerned about. I was like, am I concerned about the bear, or am I concerned about my dude? Like, I was literally like,
you didn't want the bear to die.
It was really weird, yeah.
But I think that's good and normal, and like, I mean, yeah, like in the moment, like it'd be like
bear.
But at the same time, yeah, I don't want animals to die just because we happen to be in their environment. Like, you know, I think that's understandable. Yeah. And maybe
but it was weird that I dreamt about that. I was like, I don't know if it's maybe because
he talked about it. So wait, so you dreamt about
the bears? About it. He's
the one who's afraid that there might be.
No, he's been dreaming about them too.
Oh.
And he started. So
you
it started
had like
with
a sympathetic dream.
I think so. He started with a dream about bears and then got all freaked out about bears and has been like looking at guns and stuff, which you can't buy a gun right now because there are none.
He does not know how to shoot it. But
and then there's that. And then there's that. But he's been actually dreaming about the bears, and then and he didn't even talk about it all weekend. But Sunday night I had a dream and I was like, I dreamt about a bear. And he's like, I told you I need a gun.
I told you.
It's like, you don't need a gun.
But now you're dreaming about him.
It's like, look at like a what's it called?
A gallon?
The electric
bazooka? No, a taser?
Yeah, would that work on a bear?
No.
Oh.
Well, you'd piss him off a lot, probably.
Oh, I'll just use higher powers.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, it works for bees. So I used to be really scared of bees. It's actually really funny. I used to be super, super afraid of bees. Like, to the point where, like, I would, like...
What a bee.
Yeah, no, yes. We are bees. But then I read somewhere like they are super intelligent. And so through my awakening, I started being like, it's okay. I'm not bothering you, you're not bothering me. And I noticed that they do. They like come up and they go, bzzz, and they're like, okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just like, watch out, bees, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
And they do.
I do the same thing. I talk to them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Hi. Get you some pollen today. Turn it into some honey. I mean, not like out loud because people will be like, wow, she's a fucking nutcase. Like I care. I don't even care anyway.
Yeah, I've been talking to animals all the time now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that too.
Yeah. Topic for another day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I think that's been the week.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Duh. Okay, so remember how when we pulled the cards?
Yeah.
And I was getting that whole like, it just feels like, with the cups, the 3 of Cups in reverse, and that whole thing of where it was like, the accidents weren't like too big of a deal, but like we did mention the Witeki thing, how he was talking about accidents, and it was like, take care of yourself, like don't feel too guilty. Well, what happened Sunday? I did not go to the pool. I did not pass go, and I did not collect $200. I laid on the couch.
It anyway.
Did it rain on y'all?
It didn't rain, so we went to the pool on Sunday and we asked her to come along. It didn't rain, but I've been having this overwhelming sense lately of not fitting in and not... I was talking to the dude about it. I was like, it's like nothing makes sense. So when you have people that are in the 3D reality and just doing the motions.
Oh, and I'm sure that it was full of those kinds.
Yeah, and you have them, and they're just doing the motions, and they don't have. There's nothing. I hate to say real because everything is real, but it
feels so
fake.
Plastic and fake and like. But what about like this?
Yeah, it's like
you can't talk about anything deep.
I got this car, I got this new house, I got this pool. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I get that there's
a time and place to be proud of your.
There is, and there's this wanting to have stuff, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you're with people like that's all they care about, and there's no meat to anything. You can just sense it, you know, like there's just like, ugh.
And it can either be draining, or it can be
entertaining. I've had moments where it's entertaining. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch these.
I'm just gonna watch because. Yeah. Mm.
So when you skipped out, it was kind of funny because you're like, I feel guilty, and I was like, don't feel guilty. Like something in me already knew that it was gonna kind of be like that. And sure enough, we get there, and I mean, like, it's like, that was fun. And Edward's like, it's a party, and I'm like, yeah, it's a pool party, and he's like,
he probably needed that.
Yeah, and he was freaking out. He was just like, doing his little dancing and stuff. But then, like, some guy came up and was like, talking to my dude, and like, hey, and then, like, we went and sat by them. And I sat there for a moment before going and hanging out with Edward in the pool, because he went off on some jumpy slide or whatever. And I was just kind of listening to the conversations, and I was just like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, I was like, if I go, I'm gonna have to just.
I think it would have been better if you were there.
Maybe, because then we could have just been like, we're drunk aliens.
Yeah,
fuck off.
And he doesn't drink during the day, so like I was like,
oh yeah.
But like, so I wound up going and sitting in the pool, and then it was just like flooded with kids, which were like splashing me and whatever, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I want to go home and drink wine and like just chill. So he didn't miss out on anything.
Okay. Well,
you might have actually hated it.
At first I felt bad.
It's not normally like that either. It was really weird.
Yeah, she has her dude. And I was like, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
You don't need me.
Yeah, so
sorry.
if you're feeling like, sometimes there's just like this overwhelming blech with the world.
Like you don't want to be around people or.
Just know that's totally normal, especially in any part of your awakening, because there's a shift. What is what Techie said? Shift happens.
Shift happens.
But
what would Techie say?
With that said, I think we should totally go into that next segment of.
I'm talking about.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Sure, let's go into the buzz.
The buzz, yeah. So let's talk about woke.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I was like
the woke. Yeah, let's talk about the word woke. So we have a lot to say on this.
Do you want to go? Sorry, I have too much boob happening. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me?
I'll go first. So I have I've written a book, right? So this is what she was talking about earlier. So I wrote this book. It's called I'm Woke, Now What? I thought it was super cute.
And when did this was what, like September of last year?
I wrote this
that we published.
Published was September, I think. I wrote it when COVID happened. What did we call it?
When Suck a
Dick happened. And there was nothing to do and nowhere to go, and kids were driving me insane, and I had been called way before that to do this, and I was like, there's no time. I was a busy realtor and I just didn't have time. Well, then there was like, what you gonna do now, bitch? You got time. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm writing a book. And it's a channeled book. And I chose I'm Woke, Now What? A, because they told me. And B, because it was the urban term that was starting to catch for spiritual awakening.
No correlation to my last name.
You are. You're like an urban little thing.
I'm a little urban honeybee. I go around, try not to get the Freon and, Coca-Cola.
So, with that said, when everything went down, politic-wise, and the word woke got hijacked, I was pretty disappointed because immediately, I think it was like not even 2 weeks after I had published, some jackass came on and was like, oh, these Trumpers and their
Trumpers and their QAnons and they're having some psychosomatic bullshit.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
but the funny thing was, she didn't even freaking buy the book. Like,
she didn't even read it.
She didn't even read the intro, because the intro is all about my past, and it has nothing to do with any of that. It's actually a little bit heartbreaking, but like,
yeah, it was really hard for me. I was like,
it's really hard
it's my friend.
Yeah, it's really hard for people who don't even know me. It's hard for them to read that beginning part, because it is a very traumatic childhood that I had. And so, yeah, I was pretty pissed that they hijacked the word woke, to be truthfully honest. And I keep thinking, should I change the name? But
so,
I don't know. Part of me is like, let's take this back, bitches. Let's take the word back,
Yeah, so I had kept, like, this thought kept just and I was pissed. I was like, that's not what that term is supposed to mean. And then what's his name, Trump's guy comes out and says, Mike, not VP, the other dude, I'll look him up.
No worries.
He basically kept calling out the woke community, and I'm just like, stop even giving it fuel.
Yeah.
Just stop. Because being woke, in my mind, was like, you've had an awakening, you have questioned all of the program that you have been...
You have understanding.
Yeah. From the time you were born, you have been taught this is how you are supposed to be. And all of a sudden, you have... Maybe you have a mental breakdown. Maybe somebody dies. Maybe, you have your Saturn return. Like, an awakening can be triggered by so many different things. And once you have the awakening and you start to question and you start to go down the rabbit hole and you start to do what we did, you are woke. Because it is a verb that is turned into an adjective, basically. It's not this community of people who are victimized, who feel like, well, I'm woke. You're prejudiced because of this and this and this. I'm like the least prejudiced person you'll ever meet in your entire fucking life. You know what? Let's talk about your past life. I bet you were an alien. I don't care about your skin color now.
Yeah.
But just because you're woke doesn't mean that you are better than anybody else or have some upper hand or that whatever. And it seems like it got such a pull to the left side of politics that you had to be like, if you're white, you better say you're sorry for being white. That means you're woke.
Mm-hmm.
If you're black, you better own your blackness and you better be a victim and you better be like, I'm a victim of the white man and I don't get to go and live my life how I want to and get an education. What? Like we got past that like a long fucking time ago. And now it's like coming back around in society, nay, in it makes me so mad. In academics, which I narrowly escaped having the rest of my mind still intact from, because there were moments when I bought into the whole victim mentality. And I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'm a victim. I'm a woman. I've been sexually assaulted. Hashtag me too, which I have my own hashtag me too. But do you think that I'm going to sit down and be a victim every day of my life because of that? And what? That makes me woke? Because I choose to be a victim? That is the opposite of being woke. Mm-hmm. Being awakened is going, you know what? This shit happened to me. This is why this is happening. This is what I'm going to do with my life. And everybody else can suck a dick.
Like, yeah. Well, and so...
That's my rant for right now. I'm just...
So, to tag on to that, I'd like to explain really quick what an awakening means. Because maybe you're like, what the heck is an awakening?
Yeah.
So an awakening is simple. So simple. It is coming to terms that you are in a frequency vibration. That is it. So you realize that this is all energy. Everything is energy, and there's something more, right? That is all it means. It is simply waking up to the fact that this is not it. This is not it. You are more than this. There is more than this.
Has a vibration.
Everything has a vibration.
This has a vibration.
Yeah, everything has, and that's scientifically been proven that every single thing is energy. And it's just waking up to the fact that, you're in this mundane wait a minute, something bigger. Yes. That's it. That's all there is to it.
You're tapping into a different frequency than what you were in before.
Correct.
And once you tap into something, once you red pill yourself, once you know, you can't unknow.
It's the thing. That's the bad part.
That's the rough part.
It's the hard part.
It's like in the Matrix.
It is, because it's realizing that
once you wake up, you wake up. And that's why the one dude was like, you know what? Send me back. I just want to eat my steak and enjoy my life and live happily ever after. And the other people are like, why would you do that? That's not real. And he's like, but I won't know it's not real.
Right.
And for people that are awake, we know. And it's like, if you are righteous and if you are like, but that's not right.
And that's what sucks. It really does kind of suck. Thanks.
Being awakened sucks.
Thanks, whomever. Because
hashtag woke.
Because, you do start to have these moments where it's like, for instance, I've always wanted to be like, I've always wanted to be like super rich and just lay on the beach all day and not do anything, right?
Sure,
and then
it'd
be great. But then I got woke and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna switch that around a little bit. If I really want to do that, then okay. So now I want to be.
Well, you have a purpose.
I would like to really have some money so I could go teach other people on the beach. I had to readjust it because, although
It's a safe lower vibration.
Well, that's the thing is
where you get to be like under the surface and be like, oh, I'm just gonna chill here. But that's not what you came here to do, and your soul knew that, and that's part of the awakening.
And as I awakened, I'm like, okay, I can't just do that. And although guilt is a muddy low vibration as well, I did, I struggled with that for a while. I was like,
we all do, and I think that's how you're having an awakening, is if you've been doing this thing for this long, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't do this thing anymore, and then you freak the fuck out, and you either are suicidal, or you turn to drugs, or violence, or divorce. Like, you just lose your shit sometimes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't even know that they're going through an awakening, and that's why they go to substitution of alcohol, drugs, cheating, all these other things, because it's like something inside me is saying that I shouldn't be doing this, my dog, that I shouldn't be doing this thing right now. And I don't know why I'm feeling that way, but I am. And so here's the thing, again, to 2012, what was it? Was that the last square? T-square?
Well, 2018 was also
something happened in 2012.
2012 was basically like when we decided that we were going to go over into the new earth.
Okay, so maybe that's it, because I think it was Witeki was saying that, in 2012, more and more people were awakening, and I'm like,
Re-Techie. I'm re-watching Re-Techie.
By the way, if you ever... just go do it. You need to go check out Christopher Witeki.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to look up really quick which video it is of his that they need to just go watch the first 25 minutes of it. And that's like, he's basically explaining the whole collective has come into this mass awakening over the last 2 to 3 years.
But so Christopher Witeki is an astrologer, an amazing one at that. And he... you can find him under Serious Joy, I think. Now
he's still got it under Soul
Garden TV, but he's a sensei.
He's working on changing it,
and he's amazing. And he now lives where we live. So, hey. Anytime you want to, So, but the thing is like 2012 was whenever I started going through my awekening,
I'll put a link to this
one. We'll link it down below. Hashtag thumbs up.
Oh yeah, this is a really good time. If you guys like this content, please click the like button, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, go ahead.
So that's whenever I started going through my awakening. What was interesting was that about, I think, 2 years later, I started meeting people who were also going through it, and it was just like this floodgates opened.
It's like this exponential, like a snowball effect, right? Like an avalanche snowball. It's like,
it was huge. And so I was amazed by the amount of people that I was meeting. That again, before my awakening, nobody. Everybody was Christian, religious, mundane.
Yeah, we didn't really like.
We'll get there.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm like, we'll get there. But there was really kind of a witchy thing, like incense and tarot.
You're the devil if you're doing all this stuff.
Yeah, and then
that's Saturn and Capricorn and the devil card. You don't even know. It's all part of it. You can't have dark without light and light without dark.
It's true, you can't. And so it was really interesting that whenever I was going through all of a sudden there was all these people, and I'm like, whoa, like there's this whole world I didn't even know about. And I didn't even dive that deep into the world of what was going on, and it was being brought to my front door, and I was like, wow. So yeah, do we have time? Where are we?
We have been on for 40 minutes. We've got 20 minutes.
I don't know. Like, I feel like woke kind of hijacked the religious aspect. We may have to get to that next week.
Woke.
Okay, so maybe we'll keep the religious part for next week, and for now we'll just stick with the woke stuff because I still have more to say. I mean, it's such a big deal.
It's a huge deal, and I'm glad that you were like, yeah, let's definitely talk about that, because I've been thinking about that too, and because it's something that I feel like it was
we
high.
need to take it back.
We need to take it back. That is our word.
Yeah.
The spiritual community that has been
adjective.
awakened and trying to do all the light work that they're trying to do, that we're trying to do, and even in like on David's intros, when he has "You woke yet?"
Yeah.
And he came out like with a little defensive statement, and I'm like, no, you meant it. Are you woke yet? Because you mean the same thing that we mean.
Yeah.
Have you been awakened? So you could also say, are you woke? But they took it from us, and now he feels like he has to be on the defensive and say, I meant it as a joke. You know, no, David, you didn't. And I know that you didn't. I'm a Leo. I'm a double Leo. What's up? And a Libra rising. So I got you, boo. I got you.
The scales have been done.
I can see right through that bullshit. You meant it just like we do. Own it.
Yeah.
Own your shit.
Okay, so she just answered about if I should change the book or not. No. We're keeping it.
And I was even the one too who was like, I don't know, maybe you should change it because of da-da-da-da. That was bad on my part.
I've got some notes here that I want to say on that. So I've been reading this book.
Put a horrible thumbnail on our face. Sorry.
So I've been reading Paul Selig, and if you've not read his books, you should go get them. It's
who?
Paul Selig, and we'll put that in the description below too.
Somebody?
No, is that not his name?
No. Somebody else that I was just watching today or yesterday said something about that name.
Let me see.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was Chuta.
Yeah, it's Paul Selig. So
I need to get Pino.
He channels, which just like my book, I channeled aliens in a child spirit, but he channels the collective, and something that he said, I'm going to quote because it was just too good. So here's what it said. Government creates fear. Then we ask the government for help because we are in fear. How does that make sense?
You got to create a demand for your product.
Exactly. So,
boom.
If we're A+ student. So if we're creating this fear aspect around the word woke, like that's doing us a disservice.
Yeah.
As a
take it back instead of
love and light community, because the term woke is an urban term for spiritual awakening. Why should we let that go? We should not let that go. It is a spiritual awakening.
It's my goddamn term.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to take it.
All right. Well, so that's the...
Are we in focus?
Yes.
I don't have it on autofocus.
Oh, look, I'm getting shiny.
I know, I'm shiny as fuck.
It's because we're sweating our ass off. We're in Texas, and it's freaking humid and hot.
Oh, yeah. Can we have...
boobs.
Boobs. Look, my period boobs are almost as big as your natural boobs.
All right, so that was the booze news.
Yeah, guys, we had a rough time getting started today. Sorry about that. I got rained on.
Yeah, but honestly, like a lot of the stuff from here on out, we've got some massive topics, and they're gonna take a while, and y'all are just gonna have to deal. Because we woke, bitches. All right,
woke.
So that's the bee's knees.
Stay woke, bitches.
And let's get on to the buzz. The buzz.
Wait a minute.
What?
Stay woke was like in 2016. It was before. Yes. These motherfuckers. Oh no. Okay, I'm on it now. Okay, so the bees. Are we already on the bee's knees?
That was the bee's knees. Now we're on the buzz.
Oh, we're on the buzz.
All right. So what's happened this week in the world? That's like.
Okay. So, the Gulf fire, right? The Mexico company had some crazy gas leak. And so there was this giant fire in the middle of the Gulf.
It was really sad to watch that. I mean, just to see that. Like,
I know. And I'm wondering.
I'm guessing that they caught it on fire to contain it.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a shit ton of oil. Like, could be like super destructive.
Well, they said it was a natural gas pipe that that busted or got burst or whatever. But I'm sure that there was also oils and all that stuff. And I hope.
I'm sure they set it on fire to contain it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then there was also the. Did you see the mudslide in Japan?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't watch the news.
Huge mudslide in Japan. I don't either, but like I saw that one and I was like, oh, I wonder what other natural disasters were going on, because that was the other thing we were talking about when we did the cards last week. Was not just were we on when we were talking about that earlier? No, I don't think we were on yet. I don't think we had we had pushed on.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the cards and how that one was peanut butter. That's the little one. Peanut butter jelly. Well, so we had also talked about how like there might be something big, like some kind of natural disaster or some kind of, you know, Mother Earth is like.
We did talk about that.
We did. We channeled a little bit from the cards, but
yeah. So there was a mudslide.
So there was a mudslide, and then there was the Gulf Fire, and then there was another thing, but I can't remember.
I was gonna say, I feel like there was one thing. So I usually get my news from my dude because he sits in bed and watches it. He's like, "Did you see this?" And I'm
see,
like,
I told y'all last time. She does. Neither one of us really watch, you know, mainstream media.
No.
Well,
again, did we not just talk about government and fear? So,
yeah.
Like, I think it was after Suck a Dick that I stopped watching the news because it was just like, I don't know, it was because I've got the spiritual awakening. I wasn't buying into it anything at all, and so I was just like, they're just instilling fear. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, that's all it is. I stopped watching all of it. The only time I look into it is if I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, is there natural disaster, or whatever? And then, what's the story they're giving us, and what's the real story? Because I'm always
you go down the rabbit hole.
I go down the rabbit hole, but I am a firm believer in if you research something, look at the first 3 to 5 stories or accounts that are recorded or put out into the news. That is going to give you your best info because nobody's been prompted. That's just like raw, real shit. And then they'll like bury that or get rid of it altogether. And then they'll be like, how does this fit our narrative? How do we script this? Okay, let's put it like this. So everything else after that is going to be completely just like watered down.
So like what do you mean the first 3 stories? Like,
so you got to go back and you got to look like, okay, what was the first report of this? Ooh. And then after a week or so
of the particular
topic, yes. Now you can go down the rabbit hole a little ways and find out, okay, what else is the story? There was either money behind it, or it was some kind of crazy disaster, whether it was man-made disaster or natural disaster, that somebody's going to profit off of. Or they're making it part of their agenda.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mudslide, though?
Well, the mudslide was because of all the torrential rain that came down, right? So that's a natural disaster. But something will happen that somebody's going to profit from and be like, our business, it got taken out in the mudslide. Bitch, you with $35 billion in debt. You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, but.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, well.
Or maybe somebody knew that part of the land was not secure and they didn't say anything. That can happen too. But then you start going into like conspiracy land, like where it's like not even a conspiracy, it's more of like lunacy. And I'm a conspiracy theorist, self-proclaimed. But you really have to look at stuff and go, okay, but...
And with that, I'm also going to say, back on the fear thing, if you're a conspiracy theorist, nothing wrong with that. Girl, you do you.
There's a lot of
But
fear-based shit
don't
out there.
have fear around it. Because let me tell you something, people. There is something to collective thought.
Mm-hmm.
And collective thought can manifest bad shit.
Yes, it can.
And good shit.
Yes, it can.
So if you have fear and you're throwing out that low negative frequency, there's probably about 10 million other people that are doing the same thing.
And you can literally create a reality that didn't exist if you hadn't have thought that.
Exactly. That's why we need to stop thinking about the bunker.
The what? The
bunker. The bunker. The bunker.
The bunker?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're talking about bunkers in case of the apocalypse. But not that you can't be,
I don't
prepared.
think that we're going to need a bunker, but I did hear today. So I had to meditate 3 times today. Not even kidding.
I
haven't meditated once in like a couple of months. It's been bad. I meditated 3 times today. I was forced to. Like, I was just like I felt this heavy weight and was like, just lay down. I couldn't sleep, but it was like, just lay down. Yeah. It wasn't I didn't have heart palpitations. It wasn't a depression. It wasn't anything anxiety related, which I
get that all the time. P.S. New Awakeners.
Oof.
You will get that. You're going to feel super tired, and then you'll go to lay down, and they won't let you actually sleep.
You won't get to sleep.
But it is rejuvenating. I always wake up from my meditations, or not wake up, but I get up from my meditations, and I feel, well, you're not asking them to then. So there's a good tip for you guys. I always ask that if they are going to come in and they're going to come talk to me and whatever, that they rejuvenate, like they make me feel better.
At least give you something once you've done all that.
Because it
work.
is. It's a lot of work.
And when she says they,
oh yeah,
they can be your spirit guides,
higher self,
your higher self, some vibration that you connect to, God, Jesus,
universe,
angels,
whatever the hell you want to call it. Actually,
it doesn't matter. Whatever that frequency is that you're connecting to, that's.
So I say they, and this is actually kind of funny, but so I have my higher self, but I feel like my higher self is a they. It's not a she. I've been thinking about this a really long time.
Is that like non-binary
I
stuff?
know. Because I've been thinking about this for a really long time.
Oh my god, you're so woke.
Because like you have a name for your higher self.
She's very feminine, and I call her Jupiter. However, she identifies as a feminine, but she's equally feminine and masculine. She embodies everything, and I call her Jupiter.
Everybody is.
Everybody is
both. And if you're not, then you need to work on that. But anyway.
Well, you are. You just don't know it, and you're imbalanced.
You might need to give some love to one side.
Yeah, you're imbalanced.
That's another topic for later. But go ahead and write that on the topics.
Shiny.
But I was like wanting to call my higher self something, and I spent weeks on this. I'm like,
was this after I told you that mine's called Jupiter?
Remember, I was telling you, I was like, what should I call mine?
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to come up with a name for my higher self, and I couldn't.
They.
Yes, because I think.
Well, maybe it's more than one.
I am a multiple. Yes, my higher self is a multiples.
Well, is that a Melissaism?
It's a Melissaism right there. It's a multiples.
I'm a multiples.
But it's a they, and so they are now called they, which is really funny these days.
You know what they say? No.
You know what they say.
What do they say?
Yes, they is a they. No.
Okay, so they. I am not going to say what your alien guide was called, because I think that they should buy the book. I'll put the link in the description. I think they should buy the book and find out what your alien is called.
You're either going to get it or you aren't. That's just all there is to it. And by the way, when you do figure it out, I just want you to know that he said he doesn't care. He doesn't care that it's that on this planet. That is his name.
He's a little rough.
He's a little rough.
I like
around
Max.
the edges.
I like Max.
He's a little rough around the edges. He's no longer here. I mean, he's probably here, but like...
I was like, don't act like you died. Shit. He's going to come see you tonight and go like,
I'm still here!
Bitch, you died.
Alright, on to the hive mind. Bring out the tarot.
Am I pulling again today? You gonna
Oh,
smell
is it
my
my
box
turn?
again?
That was so funny.
I haven't posted that one.
I saw it on the thing.
I cut it though.
Oh my god, I know I saw.
You can post it if you want.
Okay.
I'll post it.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, I'm feeling like...
Oh, I want some chocolate.
I'm feeling like you pull. You shuffle and pull. And because we're running out of time, then I channel.
We're always running out of time. But only our ego. Not our soul.
That's true. Our soul's forever.
Okay, so you channel and I pull?
Yeah, what do you think about that since we're short on time?
No, I don't like it. I just want to keep doing this forever.
This is really fun, guys. I hope you're enjoying it.
I know.
And if you're not here...
We don't have any viewers right
you
now.
will be.
I put a link on Facebook.
It's all good. I mean, this is going to be up so peeps can see it.
I'm going to turn this down so when you're ready to talk, because I'm going to shuffle on here. When you're ready to talk, just let me know and I'll put it back.
Okay, so I got things are intense, but to not buy into it. That we, collectively, are in control of our own destiny. And as long as we stay at a higher vibration, and if you don't know what that is, it is simply just positive thinking towards everything and understanding that we all she's laughing, that means it's not good, that we all, like we said before, all of our thoughts collectively make things happen, and that we need to stay in that positivity, and if we do that, we'll be all right. We are ultimately in control.
You know what? This reminds me of...
Didn't we get this card last week?
We did. That's why I started laughing.
We're still battling.
We're still there, and I don't
See, we feel like we don't have control.
Yeah, but we do. Yeah. Hermit mode. Well,
no, we need
it's the Five of Cups, so...
we need to walk away.
So first we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So... I'm just going to say all the cards first. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is what we had last week. And then the Magician in reverse. And then the Five of Cups. Upright. I get this overwhelming sense of lack. This sense of, I don't have what I want. I don't have all the things that I thought that I would have. Why can't I manifest anything that I want? Why do I feel stuck? I feel stuck. And it reminds me of how, going back to Wateki's reading, about how God's just kind of get like really quiet right now.
Yeah, no.
And all
That's
the
so
answers that you want externally are not
going to be there.
They're not going to be there. Even if you go within and you're like doing a really hard meditation and prayer, it's not going to be there.
This is really interesting.
Like, that's like, okay, nine. Let's dissect them, right? So Nine of Wands. It's kind of like I feel like that's the give up card. You're just like kind of how it was today. How many times did I say I quit? I give up.
I didn't let you.
She's an Aries. She's not gonna let me. I'm a Leo, and also I have Mars in Cancer. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't want to do it. And if I keep coming up against a brick wall, I'm gonna be like, fuck it, I'm out. And that's kind of what I feel like this Nine of Wands. Like if it was upright, it would at least be like, I'm still, I'm still in it. Now it's not the Nine of Swords. It is the Nine of Wands. So it's more about your own interpretation. It's like your own interpretation of what's coming in. Like your own interpretation of the news, of what somebody else tells you, of what you find out in meditation or don't find out in meditation, or prayer, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like it's just this overall, I'm not getting anything, so I'm just going to quit. That's what I get for that. And then the Five of Wands we have, again, it's like the battle of the minds, and maybe it's the battle of your own minds. Like, we all have our different voices, right? We all have our different personalities in our head. Like, this one thinks that we need to do this. This one thinks that we need to, just relax and, whatever. And obviously, if you go to a psychotherapist, they'll be like, oh, yeah, schizophrenia. It's like a dick. No, we all have these voices that tell us, it's usually just the one voice in our head that's like, well, if I do this, da, 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 but you shouldn't think this way, and then you should think this way, and I feel like it's the battle of the mind, because then you have the Magician in reverse.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and this, I love the Golden Tarot. It's so pretty. And see all these roses here? It's like, he can stop to smell the roses. He's not worried about where his money's going to come from.
No, he can make it all happen.
He can just manifest it. He can just be like, this is what. And we're in a lack of mentality. We're in a state of I'm not seeing anything happen, so I'm questioning my faith. I'm questioning my ability to manifest. And then we have the Five of Cups, and it's like, I feel like I've lost out. I feel like I
don't have anything.
I don't have anything. And who was talking about finances? Somebody was talking about finances and kind of like how, it was probably Witeki, Re-Teki, and how you may be looking at your bank account and it's just sitting there. I don't know, maybe it was a Chuta, but it's just sitting there, not doing anything. It's not making money.
I had that thought today.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's not making anything, but it's not spending anything, but it's not making, or whatever comes in goes out and you're just like, it's just sitting there. Or maybe it's just I don't know where my next paycheck is going to come from. That mentality as well. And so you're like, I'm trying to hold on to what I have, but at the same time, I'm worried about where it's all going to come from again. And it's just...
Yes, don't do that.
Yeah, it just perpetuates more of that. So
yeah, always know that whatever you put out comes back as many times over as you want it to. So
yeah, so what are you getting with it?
Yeah, so
which it plays into your channeling that you just.
It kind of does, and that's why whenever you pulled it, and I actually stopped and looked at it for a second, I was like, because it's really funny. So I kind of got this is almost like a battle of the ego, right? Our ego is fighting for, yes, this one definitely is a lack of passion.
The Nine of Wands in reverse.
Yeah, just a lack,
I give up.
I give up.
Done.
And then there's this battle, and the ego's come on, man, we can do anything, but at the same time, you've got this give up mentality, therefore leaving your manifesting power completely upside down. So you can't manifest anything because your ego's over here going, nope. Mm-hmm. You don't have anything, you can't get anything. And then the Five of Cups. And also, while you were talking, I was thinking, we're having this really hard time right now with getting people to work, right? Like,
oh yeah, and some states are giving like an incentive to come back
crazy amounts of money to get people to work. And even like my own company, like we're having a hard time hiring like, contractors and stuff, and it's just like nobody wants to. And why would they? Like, the government's just giving a ton of money, which is great and all, but at the same time, like, there has to be this passion inside yourself that's got to get out there. Like, we have to get
what
back
do you want
out there.
Do you want to be part of like this growing society that
right?
And or do you want to be stuck in victim mentality?
It's a victim mentality, and therefore you're at a lower vibration, and at a lower vibration, victim, you are going to feel you're not going to be able to manifest anything.
This is under the deck.
You can have the world, like everybody's stuck in this lower vibration, thinking that they're a victim, and if you just switch that mentality and drop the freaking ego, make yourself work, or get out there if it's in love or whatever. Like, quit being in this, like, I think this is because suck a dick, right? Like,
they forced us into a victim mentality.
Yes.
And me of all people, I argued with my roommate like a million times over. He was like, you should just file for unemployment. You should file for the...
Yeah, I remember you didn't want to.
I didn't want to. I was like, no, that's stupid. I can go and work anywhere. And the fact of the matter was, nobody was hiring because...
At that point,
yeah. It was all shut down. I was like, well, I'll just wait for it to come about. And then after I realized that this was bigger than just, we're going to be shut down for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And this was after I got fired from the airlines.
Right.
This was me going, oh, okay. And I thought, you know what? Well, fuck it. I will take advantage. I will use that money, and I'll use it, and I'll buy myself a new computer. And I was making more money a month than I had ever made.
And people are. And
there's
nothing wrong with that.
It kept me in my victim mentality.
Exactly.
And I was like, I don't want to. And I was actually, that was after the breakup with,
Yeah.
And I had like a huge depression. I was laying in bed for what I thought was a few days. Right. I'm not even kidding you.
I remember.
It was a few months.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that was so not like me. And so not only am I feeling like a victim because of that, I'm also feeling like a victim because of this push from governments and, all that. And then all the transits that were happening at the time, and then my chart and everything. And I just, like, I hit, like, I thought I had already hit rock bottom, and I did hit a rock bottom. But then I hit another rock bottom, a different rock bottom. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to be here anymore. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe this isn't ever going to get better. And, that's a whole other thing there.
But I'm wondering,
I stayed in that for so long.
Are people going to feel that?
I think so, especially if you're awakening and you're feeling like that.
Yeah.
Like, this too shall pass. Not even kidding you. It will. If you're having an awakening, there's a reason for that. And it's because you're supposed to do what we're doing, and that is having these conversations.
Yeah.
Letting you know that it's okay to question the bullshit that's being fed to you and help others as well. Because you might have a family member who's feeling like they're losing their mind and they want to...
And disclaimer, if you are feeling that you are having any kind of issues,
reach out.
Don't just take our word for it. You can always
reach
go to a doctor.
Get help. Do what you got to do.
Definitely do what you got to do to fix you. But
stay with us. We need you.
Yeah, it's true.
We need you.
And I talk a lot about this in my book about, that a lot of people who are awakening go through this and start to feel alone and start to feel depressed.
Extremely isolating.
And all their trauma comes up, and it is a moment of do I want to be here? I don't understand this planet anymore. That happens. It totally happens. It's totally natural part of an awakening.
And I think
relationships don't feel...
Nothing feels right.
Right.
Everything feels off.
But I promise that will pass.
It does pass. It does pass. And I do think that it can manifest into a sickness. And I do think...
Absolutely.
I think that's what happened to my mom.
Yeah. And I think the fear aspect of an awakening can make you feel insane.
Which perpetuates even more, then it's like, okay, well, what medication does this person need to be on? What is my family going to think? I need to be better, and then you're like,
I'm hearing shit,
but I can't be better, and then it's like, maybe I should just not be here. But you should.
Yeah. And
you should.
And I think we're really saying that I feel like that was almost channeled because...
I feel like I'm going to cry.
I do. I feel like that was almost channeled because it is that victim mentality over this whole thing that makes us feel like we're stuck. And we're not stuck. Whether you're awakened or not. We're not stuck.
We're not stuck. Sometimes you might feel like you're literally in the sludges of the earth underneath the ocean, millions of miles down, but you are literally the phoenix. If you're having an awakening, or if you're even watching this right now, that means that you have something in you that's having an awakening. You are the phoenix. That's like the scorpion, like the Scorpio. You go down to the very sludges of the earth and you let it pack you down, and you're like, I just want to give up, but something in you keeps fighting, and you keep learning, and you keep finding out oh, okay, well, so this happens, and then that happens, and then you just rise up out of it, and then eventually you get back up to the surface and you're okay. For me, I went down in the sludge probably 3 or 4 times before I rose up out of it. But
me too.
I think it was a combination of karmic shit, Saturn return.
Yeah, who knows, maybe we're supposed to go through crap ton of sludge before we come back out.
I don't want any more sludge.
I did. I went through quite a bit of sludge, and it's interesting because I noticed that the sludge was different each time, and now that I went through the really big sludge, my sludge is just a little sea moss, I still have it, but it's just a little sea moss. Little sea moss here and there.
It's sarcasm. Yeah. It builds up on the beaches of Tulum.
It does. But and maybe that's why I channeled the high vibration, staying positive, because the more you can do that, the more the easier this will be. Right? See, that's reversed.
Yeah, and it kept coming out in my shuffle, and
so pro tip here, just so you know, if you're pre-awakened, awakened, and going through some shit or whatever, binaural beats are amazing.
I have a favorite.
And they really do work, but you have to listen to them with headphones on. They do not work if you're just going to lay it by your table side or whatever. It has to be in your ears because it is a frequency, and it uses both of your...
Yeah, I think... in one that I was watching, it was basically if you have it actually in your ears, then it's 80 something, 87, 85 hertz, and then if you have it off, it's 2 hertz. You can't even...
Yeah, you can't pick up the beat, the binaural part, or the frequency part. And
what's the frequency, Kenneth?
So, and there's tons and tons of binaural beats out there. I highly recommend checking the comments before, if you're going to go on YouTube, check the comments before, just to make sure.
I'll put up one of mine, yeah, because
I had one weird one time where in the middle of it, it was said something really weird and had some weird knocking, and I was like, this is really weird.
Yeah,
and then I had to go back and make sure it wasn't just... because I do hear shit. So I'm like, was that me or was that them? But it was them. And so just be careful, because you don't want to have... When you get into those frequencies and stuff, you are in a hypnotic state. It usually hits theta waves and all kinds of stuff. So you are in a little bit in that REM stage. And if someone's sending you subliminal messages, it will stick. So really be careful. But she's going to put some stuff in the comments.
Yeah.
We have a lot to put in the comments.
No, I was like, I
Techie,
should be
we got
making
the
notes.
book. We got.
I'll go back and rewatch it with the comments. Yeah, I know, and yeah, especially in the book. But as far as the binaural beats go, yeah, there has been a couple that I have listened to, and it fucks me up. There's no other way to say it, but it fucks me up. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and I'll just feel like I've been attacked. I'll feel like something isn't right. And then I'll have these weird thoughts the next day. It's like, oh, shit. It was that damn, thing that I had.
But we have to remember that, Russia's whole thing is to mess with America. So, kids shows, binaural beats.
But who got it?
Who got it?
But who got it?
Even hijacking astrologers.
Who's just trying to fuck with us?
All the time.
For real?
Yeah. Astrologers and
just like
tarot hijackers, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's huge.
We should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
So, if you do go to the link that I'm going to put in the description box about Witeki,
mm-hmm.
he will definitely mention this in his in the very beginning of his video, which I'm glad that he did. But he had a couple of people hack his account and basically impersonate him and put on...
It's happening to all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, not us yet.
And he mentions that he's like, this is happening to a lot of lightwork, a lot of astrologers and stuff. So be very, very, very careful. Do your research. Whatever you even hear from us here today, go do your research. Find out. That's part of an awakening.
It is part of the awakening.
To find out, use your brain instead of just being like, oh yeah, oh wow, cool, I believe that. No, I mean, we're going to give you our experience. We're going to tell you what we think about stuff, but go do your own research. And if we get something wrong, please, by all means, put it in the comments, message us, whatever. But
bitch, you wrong.
Bitch, you wrong. Oops. But he mentions that, and then there was also, and I feel like this has got something to do with some of the transits that are happening right now.
Yeah.
Oh. And I also want to talk about being a Neptune and Sag, because you're a Neptune and Sag too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want to have all kinds of videos. We're gonna have to do this more than once a week. And then also
coming to you 2 times a week.
a million. There's not that many days in the week. I will make that many days in the week.
Manifest.
Oh God, that'd be a lot of days. So, and then even with David, the Leo King, so he got completely shadow banned.
Yeah.
From Instagram.
Yeah.
Completely. And I noticed whenever I posted stuff on our Instagram, on the Honeybee Awaken, it's like nobody sees shit. And I hashtag the shit out of it, and then I put it, on mine, and I get people I don't even know, they don't even follow me, see it. I'm like, so there's
some weird stuff going on.
There's a lot of weird stuff going
on.
on.
So be careful, if we definitely will never ever contact you for tarot readings and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm too busy.
We don't have time.
We don't have time for this shit. I mean, maybe someday, we'll have something where you can purchase something, but, even what Techie says, you have to go to a certain place and buy it.
We would never, ever, ever approach you, so don't. And that's all light workers. I don't know a single one I've ever, ever, ever talked to or followed that has reached out to people trying to get them to do No. I mean, maybe they might be like, hey guys, here's my Patreon, sign up, blah, 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 and they put up content and stuff. That's it. But whatever content they're putting out, I mean, that's... Yeah, so really, stay positive. Don't be the freaking victim. And I think that you'll be okay this week. Stay in that high vibration. I cannot express that enough. Even as I listen to, I don't want to be all high and mighty, but as I listen to astrology stuff... Motherfuckers. I've been hearing this a lot. If you're in a higher vibration, this may not affect you as much. And I have to be honest, a lot of the things have not affected me as much. And I think it's because I make sure I do my work, right? I'm constantly doing my work. And if you're doing your work, and your work means raising your vibration, working on your trauma and your karmic past and all that good stuff, then you might be okay with what the hell's going on in this world. What's you doing? You gonna read something? You gonna read us out? You gonna read us out of here? We're way past.
I know, we're an hour and 20 minutes. Fuck it. Fuck it in a bucket.
She's gonna read us
I got rained on.
a Betty Bye story.
Betty Bye story.
Story.
I don't know if I can find it. But basically...
What you got?
Basically, it's about...
Dude, I gotta get up early in the morning.
Okay, I know I do too.
Going to be
So, did you want to do aliens after this?
No. It's raining anyway.
I come over here fully expecting aliens.
I mean, if there's no clouds, we did see aliens last week after our show. Green laser.
So basically, there's, and I don't know if it's in this or not. We'll talk about this later. But say there's different planes, right? Here's the Earth. Here's our consciousness. So the Earth is like, animals, rocks, and all that stuff. And yes, they have energy, and yes, they have like sensories, and they do have a consciousness to them. But then we have ours where it's somewhat different, I guess. And then we have this higher vibration up here, right? Mm-hmm. Well, all the shit that's going on down here, if you go bing, I'm just gonna go up here for a little while, then all this stuff is still happening. It's not like it doesn't happen. It's still happening. But you're up here, so you're watching it happen. It's not affecting you. And then it passes, and then you come back down, and you're like, hey guys, let's have a beer. How's it going?
And people are like, what?
And they're like, you're okay? And you're like, suck a dick. But, and I feel like that also correlates with sometimes when you have something in your natal chart, like a transition. Like I have Mars.
You go back down? Or you go up?
Well, I feel like for me, every time that there's like this major opposition, and I'm like, oh, I was born with that. And I see all these people going through all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, nothing's happening to me. Or it is happening, but it doesn't affect me because I'm like, I was born with that. Like, whenever I came down, I was like, they were like, hey, sprinkle, sprinkle. You're going to need to tap into this vibration whenever this happens in 30 years or whatever. So I feel like that's, I don't know, that definitely correlates with it. But yeah, if you go like, oh, this is happening, go up to your higher level, tap into your higher self, and just be like, is this affecting, like if it's a national, global thing, is this affecting me right now in this moment? Or can I
deflect? Like for instance, this Mercury retrograde, it still messed a little bit with my business side of things. Mm-hmm. But like I knew going in, I was like, not today, Nancy. It ain't gonna happen. Like I knew all the things that I've learned from Mercury retrograde beforehand, and I'm like, I'm not allowing that in this time. And sure enough, it worked. And
next time, that leads me to the astrology as a mirror. So we should talk about that next time too. Okay. Because astrology can be a mirror for
sure.
Everything that's going on. Like, just go to the stars, and then you're like, well, that's why. And sometimes it just helps. Like, you're trying to get something out of your teeth.
Yeah, you're like, why won't this go out of my teeth?
And you're like, I can't see it. You go look in your mirror and you're
like,
Cancer. Oh, I got it. Exactly.
That's why.
That's why.
All right, my loves. I think that's it.
All right, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channel. We are also on Instagram as Honeybee Awakened. I'm working on our Facebook page right now as well. And if you have any questions or comments and you would like to know about a specific topic, please put it in the comments below. You can also message us at, is it honeybeeawakened@gmail.com?
Yep.
I can't remember.
honeybeeawakened@gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay. We love you all. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Sorry we started late. Sorry we ran late. not sorry.
Not sorry. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we had a lot to kind of go over, especially after last week being kind of.
Well, it was a dry run.
It was a dry run, and then today was a wet run.
All right. Namaste, motherfuckers.
Namaste, motherfucker. Mwah. Bye.